So I'll go ahead and start us off in our normal fashion. So first off, just want to welcome everyone here. It's our weekly DAO VC that we have. We've been doing these. We took off a couple of weeks really around the holidays, basically for our den mint and for the holiday itself. And I have published at least my first one of these to YouTube. I need to push the link and all that fun stuff into our Discord. I'm just terrible at it. Other things just pop up and I end up making it not a priority, and I should prioritize it better. So having said that, anyone that is on here from YouTube, feel free to like and subscribe. Just helps out the channel and increases our awareness to the rest of people on the YouTube space, which I know is increasingly becoming more and more popular in the NFT area. Not that we give super alpha here, but I think it's some pretty good information for folks that are interested in foxes, or to kind of go back and kind of check our history to see how our project really is progressing or has progressed, which I think is actually quite fun. Having said that, we'll kind of jump right into it. So this week in foxes has kind of been very, very interesting and active. From a general standpoint, we've been kind of pushing out new things. Kind of starting off, earlier in the week, we did the pinning and hiding within your dens. So you can go and you can pin your favorites. They'll go to the top of the respective sections right now. We're still, and I'm definitely interested in feedback for anyone that has a den or has messed around with them a little bit or seen them really. If there's any kind of opinions that folks have as far as like pinning favorite NFTs go. We were tossing back and forth the idea of having like a section, at the top for your favorite NFTs, or kind of do it by section. I'm not sure if we have options to kind of make it flexible, but I'm just curious. I mean, feel free to, drop us feedback in our Discord. We have a suggestions channel as well if you're in the DAO, or if not, you're in the regular Fox suggestions section. We do periodically go through there and kind of see some of the suggestions, and some of them get implemented fairly quickly. If it's something that makes sense, that's pretty easy for us to do. Other things might go to a DAO vote for us to kind of determine how we want to handle that kind of situation, and then either implement it or not implement it. But yeah, that was one of our more fun updates for our dens. The other thing that we pushed out too is the marketplace. Well, we pushed out at least the graphic for it. Should be going live sometime soon. Just waiting on a few items to kind of wrap that up. So that'll be kind of fun. The way that works is that's going to be primarily right now for interiors only, and we'll expand it once we get additional items and I'll say other interiors, and I think I can drop some alpha kind of about that. But essentially, the way it works, you can go in, you can buy different interiors for your den. So most people, I believe most people have been chatting about it at least, but there are a different number of interior rooms you can have in a den. And I believe it ranges anywhere from 2 to 6. I think 6 is the max right now. And the way that it works is that it's kind of just like a house. If you think about, any kind of house that exists out in the space, but every different kind of den has a different option. It's not like all copes have X amount of rooms, all castles have X amount of rooms. There's differences between them. And so you can have a castle with 2 rooms, you can have a castle with 6 rooms. And that kind of increases, the rarity side of things for those dens as well. So that's kind of fun. And the way that it works is you can add, interiors to them. And the way you purchase those interiors are going to be done using our token, our Foxy token. And it's based off of their different rarities. So I believe we posted the pricing side. Let's see here. Probably posted the pricing side of things. Yeah. So as far as the supply goes too, there's going to be, I won't call it like a supply shock, but we definitely want to have it so that like certain things are a little bit more exclusive, based off of, I'll say, their rarity. So, starting off with commons, we'll have 1,500, the amount of rooms will be 1,500 for common rooms. And those will cost 10K Foxy a piece. And you have uncommons, which are 1,000 supply and 20K Foxy. Rares are 600 supply and 30K. Epics are 300 at 40K Foxy. And then 1-for-1 / collaborations, we've got 100 and 100K Foxy. Those are going to kind of be a little bit specific. The thing I do want to highlight with that is that those 1-for-1 rooms won't actually be the same 1-for-1 rooms that exist in our collection from the 4 different 1-for-1s that we created for the initial dens. Those are kind of locked in place, so someone else can't get the tree house, the robot, the I should have pulled in front of me the Hell Den, and the Bone Hunter one. So those are 1-for-1s. Those are unique. It's important to kind of note that we respect those, but we have been in talks with other projects. I don't want to drop too much alpha about them, but basically we've been going out to try and spread the word of dens. It's one of those things where you kind of have to explain a bit of information to them, and I actually want to develop a video kind of like walking through, the current state of dens, like what all things you can do within them, and add to it as we add to it. So I think there's just a lot there, and some people it may not be as intuitive. I've gone out to people and like DM them and talk to them about dens, or even talk to them about NFTs, and mention dens to them, because some people are like, oh yeah, I'm in ETH NFTs, I'm in Solana NFTs, and then it's just a pain for them to like show like one versus another. Whereas with dens, you can kind of put them all in one spot, and just send someone your den link, or you can just tell them your name and have them search you up in our directory, and you can just see all their NFTs in there. You can see the ones that are listed, as long as they're listed within the more major exchanges that we have access to, and then you can also see the ETH side. You can see the ETH NFTs, and you can go to those specific ones, and if they're listed, you'll see their listing price and such. So I think that's pretty sweet. The way you can tell they're listed is that they have a blue highlight around them. That was also kind of an enhancement that we've done to dens, and they're listed right now at the bottom of those sections. So you'll see them kind of at the bottom section of whichever area they are, I'll say, sequestered in. If it's a den, as an example, it'll be within the dens area. It'll just be at the bottom side with that blue highlight on it. You just simply click on it, and it should tell you which exchange that it's on, and you can click on the link to go right to that exact listing. If you're interested in buying it, you can always do that. You can always send them a ding too. That's our messaging platform. That was one of the fun things that I did this week. Is I bought a Mindfolk last week, and I saw someone had kind of lowball offer me on it. So I sent them a ding, and I thought it was kind of funny, because at the end of the day, if they're not familiar with Ding or the platform, or really with a way of like, I'll say, NFT messaging, it's kind of a one-way communications, where they're probably thinking to themselves, like, probably losing their minds around like how they got this NFT message that says something, about a listing that they just put an offer on or something. I don't know if it'll like spook them, or if it's kind of cool, come over and buy a Fox or something like that. But I just thought in my mind it was a little bit funny, because I could picture being that person, right? Say you're new to NFTs or something, you're interested in buying a thing, you put a lowball offer on it, and then all of a sudden you get some other random NFT that says, hey, don't lowball offer me. So I thought that was kind of funny. And for dings, the way they work is it's a message you send out to someone. All you need is their wallet address, and then you type in a message and you send it. Costs 50 Foxy plus whatever the gas transaction fee is in Solana. It's usually like a few cents or whatever it is. And it creates an NFT and it sends them over to them. So like they'll see it in their wallet. If you own a den, it shows up at the very, very bottom. So I know some people started collecting dings. I think it's kind of funny to kind of see them every once in a while. And it's just a way of messaging people, letting them know if you're interested in an NFT, if you want to put an offer in, if you want to trade them on Foxy Swap, or if you want to put an offer on Foxy Swap and let them know it exists. It's just another level of communication within NFTs, because at the end of the day, addresses are anonymous for the most part, unless someone modifies the address to their name. But in certain areas, if something's listed, or if you only have like their long wallet address, you might not know who that person is. I think that's kind of the cool thing with like the Twitter handle attachments to addresses, and likewise if you get the .sol addresses on like Bonafide, that way you can kind of figure out maybe one way or another who the actual person is. So that's why some people might have seen me change my name on Twitter and Discord. I just put it as draxts.sol because I own that and it works just like any other Solana wallet. So you could send Solana or NFTs right to that address, and it would come to me. It's based off of the address that owns that Solana name or URL or whatever it's kind of considered. So that's just kind of a tip for anyone that's interested in buying that. You just go to Bonafide. The way it works now, they modified it. It used to be a 7-day auction, 7-day period with which the auction would end. Now it's a 3-day period. So you go to Bonafide, you go to like their naming service, and you can type in whatever address you're looking to buy. And when you like hit submit for it, the thing to just keep in mind is that in 3 days, that's when it will end. So do it at a time that you would remember to go back and buy it out in 3 days. Because if not, most likely someone will like overbid you by like a few cents and then either try and resell it or hold on to it for whatever reason. But that happens. So it's just worthwhile, and it's a different way. It's a fun way. It's an easy way for people to identify you and send out things if they want to. And plus, it gets you kind of a little bit more into the Solana space, in my opinion, one way or another. But now that I went off on that rabbit hole, as far as our dens go as well, we pushed out one of the newer interiors that we're also adding in. So it's a poker room. I think there is quite a few people within our Discord that would be interested in it. I know, based off of the current trend in NFTs, at least in the Solana side, being so heavy on this gambling / casino plays recently, that wasn't necessarily the reason why we went with the poker room. Poker room was actually on our list from the beginning when we were creating dens, but it didn't make sense to make like a poker room based off the interiors that we had and attaching it to that. But having said that, there's definitely some interest in playing poker. I know me and a few other foxes have played in the Grape tournament in December. We actually have a role that's a poker fox. So anyone that's in here that's a fox that doesn't have poker fox role and you're interested in it, feel free to ask. We've been chatting about setting up games, where people, play for Foxy. I think that's going to be something that we start up. There won't be a house rake or anything. I made a joke comment about that, but if anyone's interested in doing that, I think that'll be kind of fun for, I'll say the people that are interested. I don't want to shove it down everyone's throat within our community, but I think for anyone that's interested in the poker space, it's easy enough for us to set up and to get going. For the most part, I just haven't had the time recently to get it going, but I'd like to do that sometime soon. I think that'd be kind of fun for our group. And then we pushed out the information too for the submarine. I know we did the interior or the exterior first, and then we did the interior as well, which went out for auction, which ended Thursday. I believe it ended Thursday. And the highest bidder on that was Sir Laxalot, who bought it for 252,000 Foxy. It was kind of interesting to see how heated that was getting, for the bidding war side. I can't say that I'm surprised because I know based off of the number of foxes that we have staked and the amount of time that we've existed in the space, I know that there's definitely people out there that have quite a bit of Foxy, and we saw that with I'll actually say from like the 4th bid on, I believe. I don't have it in front of me, but I know it immediately went from like 2,000 Foxy to like 40,000 Foxy. It just went. And, I was excited to kind of see that. And I know we like doing the Twitter guesses for people to see how high they think the auction is going to go. And one person had guessed 250,000. So they were off by 2,000, which was pretty fun to see. And so that was our first 1-for-1 den auction that we've done. So I believe he's already gotten that, and I think he sent out a tweet about it. So it's pretty dope to see. And we've talked about a few of the other updates that we were doing. I know I mentioned it in our last space, but for your profile itself within our website, I know we mentioned the short URLs you can add to it, and that costs 1,000 Foxy to do. I know I said it was live then, but it is live now. It actually wasn't live at the time. But now what you can do is you can go into your profile, You can add in whatever kind of name you want to the link. So you can get to your dens, as an example, by going to famousfoxes.com/u/ and then whatever your URL is. So I don't know if it was you, Panama, or if it was someone else that posted that they got like /m. So like, it's famousfoxes.com/u/m, and you can go right to their dens straight from that link, which is helpful for posting in spaces like Twitter, where you're like kind of restricted on characters, but you still want to send out your den to people, or if you want to let people know how to like find you or find your NFTs, which I think is kind of fun. I bought the general as an example, but you can kind of buy whatever you'd like. You can also cancel it and change it to something else as well, if like you buy one and then you decide you want to get something different. We did include as well for our next phase that we're currently working on is our staking 2.0. So that's to these missions that we're building in that will have different kinds of rewards and such to them. Within the mission structure, you'll have kind of requirements as to what NFTs can go on said missions. So like as an example, if there's a mission where you need like 3 pirates, you would be eligible to use your den for a mission like that. So you could use like 2 pirates plus 1 pirate den can kind of successfully go on to that mission to start it. So that is one thing that's helpful for folks that might need certain traits, to go on different missions, depending on the structure of missions that they're trying to go on. So that could be helpful if you are looking for something that you don't have. So that's just one thing to kind of keep in mind when we get that going, that dens will count towards those trait-specific missions that we push out. The next item that we also are adding in is the Foxy Raffles. So we are still working on just getting that mechanic built, but the way that it'll work is you can use your Foxy to purchase kind of raffle tickets. And with those tickets, you'll be able to kind of enter in for winning different prizes that we push out. So it's just another way of folks to be able to use Foxy. As an example, there might be some people that have a few Foxes. They might not, have 10,000 or whatnot to be able to buy the next room, or maybe they have 10,500 or whatnot, and they have a little bit left over. They want to, try their hand at winning, a raffle. You can use that Foxy to buy raffle tickets. We'll have the pricing and prizes and all that kind of listed on that same platform, so that people know what you're kind of buying into. It's not like completely random, and we'll kind of go through like our process for successfully completing that. But that's still kind of in the works. We don't have that pushed out quite yet. Just another way of kind of building in additional utility with using our Foxy token, because everyone's generating it per day as long as you have your Foxes staked, and we have, I think, over 81%, something like that, still staked from our Foxes side. So there's a lot of Foxy out there to be used, and we just want to make sure that people get some additional utilities to it on top of really all the other items that we have in there, which is kind of fun. Let's see what else we got up in here. Den collaboration, I mentioned a little bit. Okay, yeah, we mentioned in there we have pesky penguins and portals. We'll be pushing out some graphics on what those look like most likely tomorrow. But we've got the pesky penguins. We're actually giving them a full den, so we'll have an exterior, interior. The interior you'll also be able to buy, like I mentioned, within that one-on-one and collaborations class. So for anyone that owns a pesky penguin or is interested in getting that kind of a room for your den, keep an eye out for those. It is an igloo themed or an Arctic themed, if you will. So I don't think there's any surprise there based off of their project. And then the portal side is based off of a traditional, I believe it's an onyx-sized portal that we kind of just recreated within like a den-looking interior. So for anyone that is also a fan of portals and you're interested in having a portal's interior to your den, that is another item that will be included out there, and those items will be gifted. So the den for the pesky penguins will be gifted to their DAO, and the interior for the portals, I believe, will be sent out to their product as well. But I'm not sure if they have a specific den that they're going to be using as far as like their DAO goes, or how they plan on kind of showcasing that, because it does kind of require a den for it to really kind of be useful, if you will. So that's something that we'll chat about more to figure out that before we push it out. And The other day, Foxy Dev had fun yesterday creating a GIF maker, which I know a lot of people have been creating and pushing out. So the way that works is you can connect in your wallet, grab any of your foxes, and include them into a GIF. And there is a time delay that'll display your every single picture you put in there, every single one of your foxes for a certain amount of time, and you can modify it to make it faster or slower, and then get the GIF output from there. And I believe most people have been posting them to Twitter, but feel free to kind of do whatever you like with it. If you have Nitro on Discord, you can also change your PFP to a GIF, and you can use that. You don't use the GIF option when you go to change it. You actually use the picture option, but you just select the GIF for the picture, and it will let you use a GIF picture. And the way it works, anyone that's not familiar with it in Discord, if you like hover over a message that they said or their actual picture, or if you click on their profile and it brings it up, it'll animate whatever the GIF is. So for anyone that has GIF Discord profile pictures, they are quite fun to play around with, and highly recommend them if you're interested in showing off your collection. And again, this is specific just for foxes. I know there are systems out there where you can create your own GIFs. You can put in, other NFTs. You can make them animated, depending on your level of creativity. Mine doesn't really go much past animating pixels, so yeah, for anyone that is creative out there that wants to add a little layer of fun to your PFPs within Discord, I highly recommend checking that out. Those are kind of our big ticket items as of recent. So I'll kind of pause there. I'm not sure if anyone wants to ask any questions. I'm going to poke through and see what we have going on in our chat.
Hey, good morning. I've been quiet so far.
Hey, you have been quiet.
I had a question for what we can do potentially for some dens conversation. When you guys were putting those out before, there was kind of like the den suggestion about the mint. Maybe we can open a temporary channel in the Discord and just see what kind of feedback the community has as far as like potential den features or improvements or things like that. And then people can vote on that. We can turn some of those more popular things into DAO votes potentially.
Yeah, no, I like that. I know we did that too with like the marketing side and such. Yeah, so that's a good note for me. Let me just write that down real quick.
I'll look if anybody has their hands up. I can bring some people up here to ask questions if that works.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Yeah, and really for the Dens channel for suggestions, we're open to kind of really anything and everything, especially with the way that like it's kind of structured and laid out. If people think that we can do it in like a more efficient way, or if something kind of seems not as clean as it probably should be, the one thing to keep in mind is the structure we have for Dens is kind of specific so that we could use it for mobile as well. So you can already use it in mobile if you go into famousfoxes.com on your phone and you can go through the dens. It should be a fairly clean and good experience for you there. But we just know that once Phantom comes out, I mean, I know there's already like beta tests and such with it on the mobile side of things. That I think that's going to reach a wider audience. So we just want to be ahead of the curve with the utility side and the cleanliness of the UX for dens. So that's one thing to keep in mind for some folks that might have suggestions for structure or layout. But yeah, I'm just going to poke through just to see. Not seeing any questions in Federation.
There were a couple of hands up in here before. I think they may have left.
Maybe, or I might have answered a question that someone might have had.
Fair point.
Yeah. The one thing too, I might as well mention. Yesterday, we kind of did a couple of pushes for like also like a more marketing side of things, where Famous Foxes decided to give away a transdimensional Famous Fox for anyone that did a purchase within the 24-hour period that started, I believe, at 2:24 in the morning yesterday, at least my time. And I decided to kind of double down on it, and I gave away a Famous Fox in the same selection of folks. So basically, if you had made a purchase yesterday to today, technically, between that 24-hour period, you are included in, and that was for any of the 3 collections that we have. So between our dens, our transdimensional foxes, and our Famous Foxes, anyone that made a purchase was kind of brought into that pool, and I just did a random number generator, screenshot of that, went through the total number of listings, and number 116 was the one that won for that. I don't know who they are. I just saw the buyer, just took their address from there and sent it out. I believe their fox is staked, because I checked the wallet just to see if their fox was in there, and I didn't see a listing or sales record of it after. It was the only fox that person had purchased, which was kind of fun. So they kind of got a 2-for-1 deal there, and that's I think that's pretty cool. I'm not sure. Actually, that might have been what no, I don't think it was Mouth. He
We
said,
do have a request here too from Art Appreciator.
"Yeah, come on up, Art." So funny. How's it going there, Art? You're up as a speaker. Feel free to just unmute yourself and let's hear what's going on.
Hello there. How's it going, everyone?
That's going well. About yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. I hadn't been keeping up with the project the last month or so. I've just been kind of away from things, and I'm seeing all the developments and success you guys had, and it's pretty epic. I minted, I think around 14. No, I minted around 16 foxes at the initial mint. I got all my foxes staked and the trans-dimensional ones staked since November. And yeah, I missed the dens though, and
I was gonna say, if you've been out for the last month,
yeah,
that was the
I had a reminder
biggest,
on my
the biggest
I,
utility side.
yeah, exactly. I had a reminder on my phone for it, but you know how it was a kind of like a tiered mint for those.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was. I didn't know the amount changed every 20 minutes. I thought it changed every hour. So I was like, okay, I'll just sleep in another hour and I'll be good. But then I'm like, fuck, I just missed that. So like, I'm really curious if the Foxy coin will be like used to mint anything else, because I got a lot of Foxy I need to spend right now. I got like 125K or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a great question, and I don't want to cut you off. I'll let you feel free to ask other questions you have as well.
That's perfect. Thanks.
Yeah. For the Foxy token, yeah, we will have other pieces. So I mean, outside, I know right now the next, I'll say, like, bigger push will be kind of the den marketplace, like I was mentioning, the interior rooms. You can buy, but we based off of how we're going to end up doing, Gen 2 and like the breeding side of things, that Foxy token will be kind of utilized within those as well. So it'll kind of be cooked in really for like anything that we push out, like as a larger scale item that we end up doing. There have been people requesting that we do like whitelist raffles and such in a way where people pay Foxy to jump into those, like even to have a chance at it. I don't know. I'm kind of iffy on that side of things personally. I'd rather it be for something that you guys get, even if it's like the raffle element that we add, where people can use Foxy to get raffle tickets to get certain kinds of prizes or rewards that we end up giving out to the community. I'd still rather it be a thing that you get versus just the potential for a whitelist. So just keep an eye out. I would say it's going to take us a little while probably to get, I'll say, a bigger push like that, like Dens were. So you'll be able to have more Foxy for when that comes. But yeah, I would definitely keep stacking Foxy, and once we have our next event, based off of the success that we had with that reverse bonding curve, is kind of what I believe they term it. I would see us doing a similar thing for future events like that, because if anything, I think it's kind of a neat, like, I'll say, social experiment, but at the same time, it also gives everyone a chance at one point or another. It just depends on the level of involvement that really you have with the project, and it just helps out for people that have been here from day one, like you said, staking back in November. November 10th, I believe, was the first day we opened up staking. It might have been the 9th if you were in certain time zones, but yeah, it just helps to kind of reward, like, give a guaranteed reward for folks that have been here for a while, versus like just the potential at getting a thing. Because I don't know if you saw stats on that mint, but basically the highest tier pricing, we sold like 50% at that level, and then it kind of was like 10ish to 15% for the next three. And the fifth tier, which was the cheapest tier, sold out in a minute. So it was actually quite fascinating to see from a general minting side of things. I can't say I expected less. I was kind of surprised that at the fourth tier it wasn't more heavily minted. I personally know that I had some Foxy left over from it because I wasn't able to mint as many as I'd hoped in tier 5, but that's just because I'm a degenerate, which I'm assuming a lot of other folks.
Exactly. Everyone's a degenerate in the NFT space. That's why.
Yeah. Exactly. So I paid the price for it. I still got quite a few, but yeah, I still also have Foxy left over, and Brink's been doing has, at least in the past, on like marble races where we've given out some Foxy as prizes and stuff. So we'll keep on doing initiatives like that. But yeah, keep stacking Foxy, and as we have bigger pushes, we'll definitely let everyone in the space know prior to. That way you can kind of make sure you collect as much Foxy as you can, and try your hand at getting into whatever we push out.
Okay, cool. How many foxes can fit in a den, and can the trans-dimensional ones go in there as well? I'm guessing that's awesome.
They can, yeah, they can, and I would challenge you to find a limit. I know the other day, and Brink can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't even know how many foxes were in that one dude's den. I think it was like 150 plus or something. 100.
All of them, I don't know.
Cool. So I can be like a 1 or 2 den guy, and I'll be like happy still.
Oh yeah. You can be a 1 or 2 den guy, and the one thing that's kind of fun is, like, for me personally, I've got a bunch of different wallets. Right? Like, I've got a trading wallet, I've got my like vault, I'll call it, and then I've got just other wallets. Some are burners, some are whatever. The one thing that we're working on, and hopefully we get a resolution to it, is Ledger won't let you sign a contract for Solana that doesn't, I think, have like a fee associated to it. So you can't link like your Twitter, Discord, or really anything else to a den that's tied to a ledger. Because I have my like vault, my vault den that I have associated with my ledger account, which I think is kind of fun because it's kind of just like where you store, your more valuable things from like a Foxy side of things, and I just can't tie it back to like my Twitter and stuff. So you can't search for my vault under our directory. I'm not 100% sure. You might be able to put a short URL on it. That might work. I'd have to test that out actually.
Yeah, I think that's a thing.
Yeah, I think that'll work. But having said that, yeah, you can have different dens and different wallets that can showcase like different things that you do within the space, which I think is kind of fun. So that's something that I've kind of taken advantage of myself because I'm just a fan of kind of just showing off certain things, and people send stupid ass things to me too, and it's just really comical when I share it with other people that don't know what dens are. They're like, "Man, you have a hell of a collection there." I'm like, "Yeah, it's mostly junk, but it's at least it tells a story in my opinion, and I think it's kind of fun." So yeah, you can be a 1 or 2 den guy and be happy as a clam. I've got quite a few. I think they're severely undervalued, but that's my personal opinion. I know I'm definitely biased.
Okay, right on. Cool. I was also curious, like, how many people are on your dev team? It seems like you guys are like really developing at lightning speed. And I don't know if it's like impressive or other projects are just like lacking, but you guys are very impressive with in terms of like what the space has put out there.
Yeah, no, I certainly appreciate that. As crazy as it might sound, we really only have one dev, but he's kind of full time for us. So,
dude, he's taking so much Adderall, I guarantee it.
Oh yeah. 100% for sure. No, he's amazing. I don't give him enough praise for sure, and I know that he hates it, but yeah, he's quite amazing in the space. I know that he has kind of like a small network of folks too, so I'm not sure how much he taps into other resources outside of us. I know that he helps out with other projects 100%, which is pretty awesome as well. But having said that, I think it's very challenging, and I don't know if other people in the space now, I mean, in this personal space that we have, has kind of seen it, but it seems like a lot of projects are like dev light, and so I think it's just a lot of projects you end up seeing are interested in existing, but not necessarily having like all of the tools that they need to exist. I know, NFTs really, when they came out, like I'll say, like in the initial craze, it really was about like the PFP side of things, even going back like earlier 2021, not necessarily, around Solana time, around like August, but I mean more so like February, March, April, May timeframe. It really was kind of like a PFP craze side, and a lot of people were doing things with Solidity on ETH, and I think a lot of that's changed. I think at least in the Solana space, like everyone wants like utility side. I know that there's, you want to have a connection with a project, right? Which I think is the important thing with the PFP that we've, at least identified within our collection, both for, our transdimensional and for our famous foxes. And that kind of associates you to, our community, but then like the utility side and like the added growth that exists within like our, metaverse that we've created and the tools that we're working on developing or have developed, from a security side of things or from just the general, I'll call it like entertainment side or a helping side with Foxy Swap. People like that utility side, within the space itself. And I can't tell you how many people, reach out and say they love to see what we're doing. Some people ask for code. Foxy Dev is quite against just blatantly giving code to people, rightfully so, because
good.
I think it's important that, if you need help, that's one thing. If you're asking to copy, I don't know how much value there is in wanting, to exist in a space where that is happening too often, because you won't get much innovation from someone that's copying, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, and I know that you probably can go back and do a bunch of different examples of where copying at least started some form of innovation, because I'm sure that's happened. But I think within the space there's just a lot of original ideas that can exist and should exist, and a lot of projects that just want to exist probably shouldn't, and it doesn't make sense to kind of keep them, in my opinion, or like help them out with, just trying to be like a cash grab or a potential rug or something like that. I mean, at the end of the day, part of my responsibility within our community is to kind of protect our community against that. So one man team, and he's nuts on the dev side. I mean, there's definitely ideas that we bounce back and forth, but I can promise you that I would be completely useless from the coding side of things. So that's quite fun. But we kind of do worry about contingency plans and stuff like that, but we don't really have a problem with that within our space, within kind of the relationship that we have on our team, which is kind of good. So it's been quite fun.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm good as far as questions go, but
excellent.
Can maybe let someone else speak or whatever.
No, it sounds good.
Thank you for all the information. Appreciate it.
Of course. Yeah, thanks for being around. Thanks for asking questions.
No worries. Take care.
Thanks. Brink, I'll defer to you as to who might be next. I see Paul and Jim.
They both got their hands up. Can we do like a quick rock, paper, scissors to see who it is?
I mean, if we go left to right, I see Paul first, and then Jim.
I'll bring Paul up here.
Sounds good.
And then we'll get you Jim, promise. I think you're live, Paul.
Sure is. How's it going, Paul? I think you're muted too, just a heads up.
There he is.
Definitely muted. Okay, I'm unmuted now. Cool. No, I've just been listening in. Just trying to figure out how to use brain and also fingers. Yeah, cool. Fantastic to listen in. Drax, hope everyone is doing well. Super rainy here, so it's nice to hear some good vibes from you guys. Yeah, man. Like being, as I on from our last sort of chat, and obviously just kind of listening into all the sort of stuff that you're working on. Lovely to hear about, being able to be so productive, but it sounds like from what you're saying that it's a fairly small and intimate team, which is crazy, but also really nice. But I had perhaps a selfish question for you. Yeah, if you don't mind. I was really, really taken by the Foxy staking your sort of, your NFT or your den, or staking your famous Fox Federation character for Foxy, and I was just trying to. I was trying to get my head around that, and I wanted to kind of just have maybe 60 seconds to go back and forth and just trying to work out that Foxy token and the broader utility for it, and how you're talking about poker. Yeah, is that okay? Can I talk about that?
Of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah, let's
cool,
go.
Man. Yeah, no, I mean, the token itself, amazing, great. So obviously, I'm more familiar with the Woodies community. So when you go on there, what you can do is you can use things like NFT20. Of course, it's based on Ethereum. So what happens there is that you have to go through Uniswap and you have to have a token. I think it's called. Forgive me. I think the token's called Woody 20 or something like that. And you need like 100 Woody 20, and then you can get a Woody at the floor price, but you buy that on Uniswap. Is there any sort of comparables on the Foxy token, or what is it? Is the utility for the Foxy token? Does it have a merit value in Solana, or how does it?
Yeah, no, excellent question. And we'll go a little bit deep with it. The first thing I had, just as a general question, when you say you swap 100 of the Woody 20 for one Woody, is the Woody an actual NFT? So you use Uniswap to swap a token for an NFT? Is that what you're saying?
Correct. Yeah. So I think basically the idea is that the project is always in plus, which is perfectly reasonable. Yeah. So essentially, what you do is if you sell a Woody for Woody 20, let's just say like you sell an NFT. Let's go a little bit firm up my linguistics here. So you swap an actual NFT for tokens, more like money. You receive 95 Woody 20. Now what that does is then, in order for you to get back into the floor price of a Woody later on, if that's what you want to do, then you will lose 5 Woody 20. So you'd have to go onto Uniswap and you'd have to buy 5 Woody 20. I haven't actually done that because I've been...
Interesting.
Yeah, so basically the project is always in plus. So, and, I'm trying to work out, is there a merit value of the Woody 20 or the Foxy, should we say, in like Ethereum or the base price unit of your cryptocurrency. So it would fluctuate quite a lot, I would imagine. Because it's going against the floor price of the actual which is aggregated from OpenSea, and then it comes back out, and then essentially you would have if you're swapping at the floor price, then you're totally fine. But yeah, I'm really interested to see, because obviously I'm as we probably know, I'm really interested in the cross-chain marriages and partnerships and flourishing relationships between chain, and I think you guys are really pioneering a way forward.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. So that's very interesting about Woody. I had no idea that's what they did. That's actually quite a fascinating system. I'd be kind of curious, for myself, to maybe do a little bit of homework to see how they handle like the rarity side of things with that. That's that seems to probably be, in my opinion, probably one of the more challenging items for them. So for our project, our supplies are fixed. So for our famous foxes, we've got 7,777. We have the same supply amount for our transdimensional, and our dens we minted 3,000. As far as the tokenomics really go for our project, we've created a certain number of tokens, 69 billion, something like that. It would basically last like 300 years of staking all the current foxes that we have. But the only way that Foxy is generated into like the ecosystem itself is by staking foxes. So I think that's why really we have the 80% plus that we have currently staked. It's just over 12,500 NFTs specifically that are staked. And that's between the famous foxes and transdimensional. So that total supply is 15,554, of which 12.5 plus is staked. So they're generating Foxy every day. From a project standpoint, since we're the ones that created the token, we can't create the value for it, or we kind of fall into I'll say a not so gray area, with potential legal risks to it, or at least we've been advised that way. So our stance is one Foxy equals one Foxy. We had someone from the community create a DEX listing on DEX Labs, so you can go in there and you can trade Foxy for USDC. That's just the base trading pair that they do a lot for, at least on DexLab. The important thing to note is that there's no liquidity pool associated to that. It's an order book, so it's just like if you were to buy, the Bitcoin USDC pair or USDT. Technically, it's probably the more common one that most people see. If there's no supply and high demand, then a higher price. If there's a high supply, low demand, then a lower price, and it just fluctuates based off of what people are buying it for. And so I think you see around our events that we have that utilize our token in a heavier fashion, I think you see a little bit of an uptick in price and an uptick in sales for it. But like that's kind of the general structure as far as like the dollar side of things goes. It exists out there. There isn't anything we can do about the fact that it's listed for a price. If people want to associate Foxy to a USDC, they're more than welcome to. But from our standpoint, one Foxy is one Foxy. And so the token itself, really does a lot of the utilities that we build within our ecosystem. I think that's probably the most important thing for us in our community. Our objective isn't to make everything cost everyone Solana, because at the end of the day, that's what a lot of products are doing. And that really just kind of takes away from the community rather than giving back to the community. And that's why, the staking mechanism boosts that side of things, because the more Foxes you own, the more Foxy you have, the more things you can do within our space. The thing it costs you is the gas fee for Solana, which is, cents at best. So really anything that you want to do within our space, you can do relatively cheap, if not free, or borderline free with just, the gas fee side of things from Solana. So, a lot of the things we've talked about here, sending ding messages to people, creating a short URL. We're going to have the marketplace up soon to buy den interiors. We have Foxy Swap, which I think is probably one of the more important ones, at least for me personally. It's a platform where you can swap, and right now it's set up to swap one NFT for one NFT. You can add Solana on either side of that trade just to make it so that it's relatively equivalent, one side or the other. You kind of go back and forth with someone prior to probably setting up a swap, or if you set up a swap, make sure you let them know, probably via ding or if they're in our community. But that just provides, a more secure way of doing an over-the-counter trade, so that way people don't get scammed via DevNet scam or using some person that they claim is reputable for a middleman, or even try to use one of us and have some other level of scam potential there. It's just a platform. You go in, you put in the wallet address that you're interested in trading an NFT for. You select the NFT you want to trade for. You select the NFT you're offering. You put in a Solana amount on either side if you want to, and push the trade offer out there. It costs 100 Foxy to do. If the person rejects it, you get all your Foxy back. If you choose to rescind your offer, it burns 25 Foxy. So, it costs you 25 Foxy to, I'll say, shoot your shot if you decide to recall it. But that way it kind of puts a mechanism in place where people don't just spam, 5,000 Foxy Swap requests with other people. We want to make sure it's kind of, specific for trades that people want to do, and it's not like overloading, our systems that we have on our end. So I think those are kind of like the bigger Foxy items that we have right now. Like I mentioned, we're going to have like a raffling system where you can buy tickets with Foxy. That'll be a burning mechanism. The auctions that we've done have been pretty large burning mechanisms. So that's just taking the token supply, out of our existing space. So the den we did this week was 250K Foxy. We had a couple of Foxes that will go already for, I think 80,000 was the one Fox, and another one was 100 and some thousand. And when we did our dens mint was done all with Foxy token, and again with just the small gas fee you end up paying on Solana. And we burnt, I think, just over 12 million Foxy on that minting event itself. So those are kind of like the main utilities that we've built in place so far with Foxy, and that's really us just getting started. That's just over the last few months that we've really existed in the space. So more to come on the utility side, and that's where we're kind of at right now.
Yeah, no, that sounds amazing. Obviously, just kind of really puts into perspective how deeply you've thought about it, and how much you're trying to integrate, a separate side to it, which kind of almost brings a complete 360 ecosystem for all the things that you're making. Just to kind of bring it back home a little bit to make, so I'm not quite there on more of the advanced level of getting involved with the Foxy kind of community. But my interest is, so if you had a fox, it's got one fox, Foxy Raffles, and you stake it, the daily sum is something like a decimal of one Foxy, or
no, no, it's not a problem. So we have two different foxes you can stake. You could stake either the famous foxes, the FFF collection, or the trans-dimensional famous foxes, or the TFF collection. And so with the original famous fox collection, they're the ones that are a little bit pricier right now. I mean, they should traditionally be more pricier. You get 100 Foxy per day for staking an FFF. For the TFFs, you get 1/4 of that. You get 25 Foxy per day.
Yeah.
So for utilities like Foxy Swap, as an example, the reason that we put the 100 price tag on that was so if you own a famous fox and you just stake it for 1 day, you could do one Foxy Swap trade for, like I mentioned, the Solana gas fee price, but it would be free from a general perspective because it would cost you that 100 Foxy that you used from staking your fox.
Cool. So you can just you could basically swap your fox for one that you prefer for that period or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. If someone else is interested in your fox and you're interested in theirs, you guys can just swap famous foxes. You just do it through our platform.
Yeah, no, I love it. Yeah, because that's obviously you kind of going back to what I was saying on the NFT20.io, which you may be familiar with. That's sick. So basically on there you got space poggers, you got everything, cool cats, dead fellas. You just go on there and you can swap, almost over the counter, I guess. That's how you explain it. And so going back to the famous foxes, so basically imagine I earned 100 fox in a day, how long would it take me to buy another fox? Does it work like that?
So we don't have, that's actually an interesting point. We don't have right now like an official, I'll say like a swapping marketplace or something like that where people are swapping like NFTs for Foxy. But we do have on our Foxy Swap, we do have about 40 collections, I think, right now. We actually put a tweet out about it. I want to say it was like Wednesday-ish. It was sometime this week that had a list of all the collections that you can swap NFTs for on our platform. So the reason why we did that is because you have to make sure that those NFTs are verified, and we don't want to have like unverified listings that potentially could like scam people on the network, because it doesn't take a whole lot really to mint an NFT, on Solana, at least, for a one-piece item. So you just want to make sure that it is the original legitimate item that you're swapping for. So we have to approve them on our platform.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. No, I think, for me, that was what really triggered like a lot of interest. Because okay, cool. Imagine if I have to hold a fox for 6 months and stake it, then I get another fox. I just figured that would be like dynamite for your ecosystem. Just me. I mean, obviously, down to you guys. And so going back to real basics, then the Foxy token denomination in, let's just say, another currency or fiat is purely held to the baseline of the floor of Foxy. Is that about right?
So like I mentioned, it's in Dex Lab. So I'm guessing you might not be too familiar with Dex Lab on the Solana side. But
sorry, no,
that's okay. But basically, they have like an order book where you just have different NFT different token pairs. So like as an example, you can have like Solana /USDC. You can have Wolf /USDC. I know that was a more hyped token earlier this year. There's a Foxy /USDC pair in there. I haven't checked it recently to see what the pricing is of it, but basically you can see how many people want to buy and how many people want to sell Foxy at all different price levels. So if you pop in there, you can see what the pricing is, and it works just like any other platform that you're trading tokens on. It could be Coinbase. Coinbase probably isn't the best. Coinbase Pro. It could be Binance, where you just go in, you see the order books, and if you want to sell 100,000 Foxy, you'll see how deep you sell it if you do like a market sell, or if you want to set your own price to it at like $1. You set it your price at $1. If the price ever gets up to $1, then it will sell them at that price. So it works just like a normal exchange from like an order book side of things.
Yeah, no, it's very cool, very cool. Yeah, happy to keep listening, and yeah, it sounds like you're doing some phenomenal work. As I say, I think it's a pretty special ecosystem, community, and technical kind of master plan has really been unveiled. So hats off to you.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate you being in the space, and definitely the questions. That I certainly appreciate that. I know, part of our goal, I think, or at least one of my own personal goals, is to kind of increase the education side within our community, but definitely within the space about our project. So that's something that I want to start working on more, is like creating like YouTube videos of just kind of showing the utility side for our token and the different things you can do with it, our dens, our community, just different pieces, just to increase general awareness and kind of push it out there. I think there's a lot of continued interest from as a cross chain side of things, whether it's from ETH, whether it's from Cardano or anything along those lines. But people, I think, are definitely looking more and more into the Solana side of things as things kind of heat up really on the L2 side for ETH. So I'm definitely interested in making sure that people know about us and kind of know everything they need to about our community and utility, to be able to get into our project and to to enjoy the space, really, because I certainly do.
Yeah, no, sounds good. Perfect. Yeah, I look forward to seeing how it all develops. New year, yeah, good stuff, man. Thanks for the response.
Yeah, thanks for being on, Paul.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate you. All right, Jim, the dev, has been patiently waiting.
Yeah,
I'm gonna bring
let's get Jim on up here. All right, Jim, I think you're up here.
Yeah. Sorry, this is like lagging. Cool. So yeah, I had I guess a couple questions. You kind of answered like one or two of them in that last bit, so I won't go there. I did have a question about just well, first of all, I just want to say, like, on the video side, that was kind of what I was going to actually make a suggestion about, because I've had, being in the NFT space for a while, you get a lot of people asking questions about, you at some point, as someone who owns an NFT, you're like excited and you can kind of communicate what you're excited about with a community. But then once someone is like, okay, I'm ready to go. So then, like, it's great to be able to sit with people or explain it to them, but it is helpful to have resources, obviously, to kind of guide them through, like, what is this and what is this and what is this. And one thing I've noticed about Foxes is that there is so much that you all are doing, is like, you can't even fit everything in the menu at this point on the site, right? Like, it's like a problem of delivering so much, like at some point, like if you ever go to Amazon or something like that, where their menus are just like the full screen, and like Foxy's kind of like that. So I was just gonna say, like, thinking about as more features get added, as more kind of flows and dynamics are out there, are you thinking about education resources that people who are already in the community can use to get other people kind of understanding what that is? And maybe you're engaging the community on creating those, right? Because who's better? Like, we might know the areas that people get stuck, since we're in this and have kind of done the research. So there's that piece, and I think you kind of addressed it with like the videos and stuff, so we don't have to spend a whole lot of time there. But
yeah, I don't mind chatting about it, though. I think it's a big. I mean, for me personally, based off of what like my normie kind of job is, like that's an important thing that I've identified too. Like within our company, it's I think part of our challenge really is like an onboarding side of things from a company standpoint, and I think that translates over directly to us with Foxes. If you're looking at someone brand new, and I would even say like our target audience would be one of two people primarily. It's folks coming from either ETH or a more popular or a different NFT space, I should say, or someone coming directly from buying into crypto, heard of an NFT, and they're interested in seeing what we're about. And I think kind of targeting those two specific audiences is probably one of the most important things for us to do, essentially, for, I'll say, like, maybe not the next phase, but like the next, like this whole year. I think we're going to start seeing more and more people kind of come into the space. And yeah, so it's just making sure, you know, the material that we create is easy to digest. It's targeted. You know, I don't want to create an hour-long video about foxes. I don't think anyone will watch it. Well, a few of you will watch it. Brink will probably watch it. But but yeah, I mean, like short videos, just, you know, to talk about, you know, the project, talk about, you know, the original collection, the transdimensional collection, how it came about. You know, from the transdimensional side, you know, those were airdropped to Fox holders for a certain date, you know, based off of them being unlisted, and the last 800 were minted. The dens, you know, the fact that those were minted using our token, you know, talk about our token a bit, and just have like specific videos about that like library, if you will, and we can put that as a resource, because I know Brink's certainly been a big help in helping, you know, with that education piece. And if you go into our Discord, there is like a new Fox channel where if you see someone pop in, you can send them to. But there's just a lot of information there too that it might be a little overwhelming for some people, you know, or it might not be that easily digested for some people. So that's an important thing that I personally would like to kind of increase some. And if there are people out there that are interested in trying to help out with that effort one way or another, I mean, I know we have some content creators, you know, from the YouTube side or from the TikTok side of things. TikTok, I think, is a little bit different, you know, as far as education things goes. But as far as YouTube goes, I think there's a lot of potential for us to kind of get some good content on there that we can just direct people to. You know, if it creates organic traffic on top of it, that's even better. You know, I don't want to be clickbaity or anything like that. I just want to kind of spread information, and so I think it's important from just a general side of things for our project and for the Solana ecosystem as a whole.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and I mean, it's tricky because you can spend a whole lot of time producing stuff and have no value delivered, and it's yeah. And in some sense, like maybe it's better for in the short term just to have these spaces where people can just come and ask their questions, and then any of us can just be like, "Yo, hit up the next space and ask a question or whatever," or hit the Discord. So that's fair. And I mean, one thing I like about the team is that there's always like there's a focus on this dev side. You kind of mentioned it. There's a lot of really light dev teams in the space. Or there's a lot of light teams in the NFT space that are light on dev, and you know, like you said, like a lot of us have normie jobs. we can't do full time this, or we're just not ready to move over yet. But one thing I think that I've noticed is like you all kind of stick on the brand of like the foxes and things like that, and I don't know if it's possible, but one thing it's kind of thinking of as a suggestion is like foxes dig holes. Foxes are always looking for stuff, hiding stuff. I'm not really sure exactly, but like from a raffle perspective, like being able to like pay some Foxy and like see what's in a hole and see if there's something buried there.
I like that.
Just an idea that you could throw around. And then last thing, and then I'll let someone else come up, is oh shoot, what was I gonna ask? Oh, no. A deer just ran across my yard, and now I can't remember. Shit.
We'll keep you up here as a speaker if you remember.
I'll open the Discord.
that or we'll keep you up as a speaker if you remember. You know, feel free if there's a time to jump in. Feel free to jump in. We'll leave you.
Okay. Appreciate it, guys.
I know Art requested again, and then I saw Papa after, so do you want to bring Art up first?
Yeah, I'll get him up here.
Cool. Thanks, Brink. All right, Art, you are up. What's going on? Oh, you were unmuted for a sec, and you muted yourself again. Are we getting rugged by chance?
It's still some connecting for me.
Oh, okay.
Just give it a second, I guess.
Yeah, drop them back down. Maybe it was an accidental request. Oh, maybe not.
Hold on, you requested again. I'll try again. Oh,
Yeah,
connect to Twitter, please.
Sorry, Rug there.
I remembered my thing, so maybe we'll...
Can you hear me?
Sorry, Art. Go ahead, Jim. Yeah.
which one of us do you want to go?
Jim.
Yeah, go, Jim, real quick.
Okay.
Go.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, I was going to mention obviously there's a lot of things going on. It's tricky not to be like trend based in terms of your own roadmap, but at the same time, it gets people thinking about different things. So maybe you already talked about this in the past, but there's a lot of talk about games and gaming and things like that. And, one of the things is the Foxes, I think, with the missions and things like that, there's like already kind of this view of the Foxes as, super cute but also like lots of fun and things like that. So I just wanted to know, like, if there's anything you're thinking about in that space, or if you're like specifically thinking that's something we can always do, like let's focus on what we're good at, and then at some point if we want to do that we can do it.
So good question. I'll follow that up real quick with the general comment, and that is that we are looking into more metaverse plays. So I don't want to push out anything before it's all like finalized and official, but we do have something in the works that's I'll say like most of the way there. Give me one quick second. All right, sorry about that. My baby is sleeping, and I had to go plug my laptop in. So from that angle, we are looking at opportunities of ways of trying to figure out the best way of doing that. The mission side for us is kind of our, like I'll say, like staking gaming side of things that we're planning on kind of building into our project. But having said that, there's so much opportunity that exists, in the space for, a gaming side of things, a metaverse play. I mean, there's just a lot of things that are out there that we can kind of fold into as we kind of see things develop. I think part of the challenge that I see right now with a lot of projects too is a lot of people are saying gaming, I think, just to kind of be on the FOMO side, or to kind of create like a hype element, because everyone's just like, oh, what's going to be the next, I was going to say World of Warcraft, but I mean, there's just a lot of potential that exists out there where people are trying to figure out what's going to be the next best thing. I think there's a lot of competition, and I think it takes a lot of money and a huge time sink and a lot of developers to make something really, really good. Especially something that's going to stand to the test of time, and we don't want to kind of jump the gun on that quite yet. So I will say we're never without opportunity. If opportunity exists and we see something, we're more than happy to explore it as an option and kind of vet it and make sure we do our own due diligence for it. But yeah, as of right now, our next play, I'll say, getting into kind of the gaming side of things will be kind of that staking 2.0 that we have on our roadmap that we're continuously building right now up until we push that out.
Cool. Thank you. I appreciate and just immediate feedback is like, that's great. I also have little kids, so I don't have a lot of time to play games anyway. So the fact that the Foxes are fun without having to like do engagement farming is really cool. So
yeah, no, I appreciate that, Jim. Art, you're up next. Or I'm sorry. Yeah.
Alrighty. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I was rugging there a bit earlier.
That's okay.
Okay. So yeah, there's these missions that are going to be with the dens and the foxes and everything. I came in a little bit late, and I heard the tail end of you talking about how certain foxes are going to pair better with certain dens or something to that effect.
Yeah.
I was wondering how do I go about finding one for my foxes that'd be best suited for me? Where do I get all this information?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So the way that it'll end up being, and again, these are kind of the more specifics that we're still working on hashing out to get, like, I'll say, like a better final polished product for the staking, the staking 2.0 side of things, is more so like a combination of traits or a combination of foxes that have all of one trait that you'll be able to use on those missions. So like as an example, if you have something that's the example that we use has to deal with pirates, but even if it's like a space exploration mission where it requires 3 FASA foxes or 3 FASA components. Really, you could use a FASA den and 2 FASA foxes, or 2 FASA dens and 1 FASA fox, or three of one or the other. It could be a transdimensional or a famous fox, and they would all kind of go on this mission. The mission would have a certain period of time, and there would be kind of a percentage breakdown of the potential loot you can get from those missions. So some of them, it might be specific NFTs you get that could be like a collectible for your den or something along those lines. Whereas others, you might just get Foxy token from the reward side, which will be a better base than just staking those elements. Especially including the fact that dens can't be staked for Foxy. So that would just add a different element when people have the potential of getting different kinds of loot and such that we introduce into our space by doing the staking 2.0 side.
Okay, cool. So it's like to be determined then kind of thing.
Yeah, to be determined. The thing that I would say, at least from what I've seen from folks, folks do seem to kind of supplement like maybe traits that they don't have in their foxes already with traits that they can get from either the TFF side or the den side, since those can be included into the missions. Or sometimes you might like supplement to get additional ones that have those same features. So like as an example, like FASA, in order to get a FASA Fox right now, I'm not sure the floor price on them, but I'm fairly positive the floor price is cheaper on the TFF side. So if you're interested in trying to go on, I'll say like FASA missions, then you might want to get, those NFTs that exist with those traits versus, or more expensive ones. Really, it's whatever your taste is, but this is kind of our way of blending inside the rarity side of things into the rewards that we've been talking about for a while, and I think that's probably one of the better ways that we can do it for our current ecosystem.
Okay, awesome. And that's all I have for now, but if you could just leave me up because I might have another question.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds good. And I know we've crossed 11. I certainly appreciate everyone's time. We're going on 11:15, so I'll take questions really as they come up. But as we get closer kind of to the end, I know I will plan on hitting an ending point, and I know we have quite a few people in here, so I really appreciate everyone hanging with us. So I'll give a general appreciation now, and we'll bring up, I believe it's Samurai Ramen Shop.
Yeah, I got him here.
And I'm gonna follow. I'm gonna jump through real quick and follow all the foxes. So feel free to do that as well.
And then Silver will be up next. I'm sure he's gonna ping everybody. Samurai, you're up here.
How's it going,
Top
Samurai?
of the morning to everybody. What's our call? What's the thing? Be like, beep, 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 beep. Like, I don't know what foxes do, but
yeah, we were trying to do like the ring ding 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 thing from the Foxes song, but that's too difficult for it to catch on.
Yeah, that's all right.
I just go with
not everybody needs
just go with the usual GM.
The kind of meme response we've been talking about in Discord is since we're the Federation, the Feds, we were just doing wee woo. And then catch on. But some of us do that. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Hilarious.
Big fan. I picked up my first one just the other day. I've been looking at this project for a while. It's actually the first project that my friend Saul, his name's Saul, like Solomon, got on Saul and made profit on. He bought one at like one something when it was at a dip, and then sold it for like 2.5. It was called me up. It was like, yo, I just made my first profit on Solana. He's like, I just sold my first NFT. Like, lost his mind. He was so proud of himself. So I saw that they were going
It's
up.
a really good feeling when that happens. I can feel them on that.
So I saw the prices was going up, and I'm looking at this art, and I don't have one. And I was like, you know what? Like, my guys are calling this out. And usually when my guys call it out, it's because it's for a good reason, right? So I took a second look at it, and I kept thinking, cool cats. That's all that kept popping up in my head. Was like, this is a unique style of art. It's line art. It's not pixel art. It's on Solana. It doesn't have Solana in the name, right? So it's like all of the green flags for me. Really active community, incredibly active and prominent dev team. Like, for me, this is a no-brainer project. So I'm just stoked that you guys have put so much effort into it to build a good reputation that we can latch on to and appreciate by buying and holding this project and seeing it go up in value. So thank you for that.
I appreciate it. he is a plant. No, I'm just kidding. No, I appreciate the kind words, man. I mean, it's very interesting. I mean, the NFT space as a whole, when we were talking about getting into it, it seemed like, is it too saturated? We actually were planning on doing an ETH project. We pivoted to Solana just because Solana seemed like it's more for the community side. And that's what we wanted to build. That's what our kind of grand vision is, to have a solid community behind us, to add value to the space, to just be there every day, to have a community to latch onto. And it's been, a hell of a journey. And, certainly appreciate, every single person that's in this space and in our community, to say the least. But yeah, I mean, to your point, it certainly is a dopamine rush. I think that's what helps out on the degenerate side when you do your official flips of NFTs. I'm certainly a flipper out there myself in my spare time, the little bit that I seem to have anymore. But yeah, our goal is to continuously build and provide value back out to our space. And like you're saying, I mean, it's prominent everywhere. So I certainly appreciate that. Did you have any questions, or you I just wanted to make sure I don't?
Yeah,
I think
actually,
it's just hyped.
hyped, yes. Questions, yes. So,
I'll take hype, yeah.
yeah. So, the consensus mechanism that you guys chose for the DAO.
Yep.
Is it? How do we go about voting for it? Is it like one Fox, one vote? Can you catch me up to speed a little bit?
Sure.
Like I said, I'm kind of new to this community, but I'm an active member of the NFT community, so I'd like to figure out how I might be able to get involved and engaged.
Yeah, certainly. So our DAO votes are kind of done right now in kind of a more traditional fashion that a lot of other projects seem to do. Some DAOs do like on-chain voting. Part of the challenge with that is that it comes with a cost for every vote, and you can do it like based off the number of NFTs you hold as well. From our angle, we look at the total, basically. The more foxes or NFTs that you hold as a holder, it kind of adds more value to your votes per se by having,
as it should.
Yeah, by having like less supply out there that other people can like buy into and have additional votes kind of against you. I mean, it kind of counts really for everyone in the space, but our votes are done through our DAO that channel that we have within our Discord. You can you can verify yourself. It's currently open to just Famous Fox holders. So the TFF collection, that's more so just our general community side, but that's not for our DAO side. And we have a DAO suggestions channel, which we typically push in there. And, once we get to a certain number of votes, there isn't like a hard science to it. I know we've tried to put some numbers to it, but some things take longer than others. And we like to keep like good ideas in there as like an ebb and flow just to kind of see what the interest is from the rest of the community. But we try to get a certain number of votes in there, and then we push it into an official DAO vote. And based off of that kind of time frame, we've made them any DAO votes that we have anonymous. So we just wanted to make it unique in that way. People can they're not swayed one way or another based off of what at least the majority has voted up to that point. If there's a 5-1 vote at the beginning, I mean, we have a lot of people in our DAO. There's nothing to say that at the end it won't be a 200-5 vote at the end. In the other favor, you might only get 5 votes for that one item. So we wanted to make sure that it's transparent, but it's also anonymous, because I find a lot of value in people not being swayed towards votes for different DAO votes. They're usually open for a certain period of time, and then once that time is done, then that decision is finalized, and then based off of the decision from there, then we go into our implementation phase and we kind of build that out that way. There are some other suggestions too that come through that might be just simple tweaks or fixes to stuff we're already doing that don't really have to go through a whole DAO vote. So we kind of just see it as a good idea. If it gets a lot of votes, or even if it doesn't get a lot of votes and it's just something that's a real quick fix, like we'll just go ahead and pop it in and put that in place as well. If it's something that's like super easy, but for our bigger high key items, we put that out to an official DAO vote, and basically every person that's in our DAO has one vote towards it, and the final tallies on that are our word for kind of pushing our initiatives forward.
That's awesome. That sounds like I have a lot of homework to do which is typically the case whenever I buy one of these NFT projects.
Yeah, and hopefully in the not so distant future, I'll be doing a lot of that homework for you, and you just have to go through and watch a video series or something along those lines. That is one of my goals for at least this first quarter, is to get more education information out there for new people to our space, specifically for our project, but maybe even a little bit more for the Solana NFT side of things. So. Right now it's your homework, but hopefully soon it will be a lot easier to do.
Awesome. And if I'm not taking up too much of the time, could you just I see the post at the top that a hyperlink submarine got sold for 225,000 Foxy. Could you? I didn't know that the Foxes had a token. Again, like I had not done my research. Could you sell me on the token? Could you just give me the 411 or the elevator speech on it?
Yeah, elevator speech is Famous Foxes, the original collection, the one that you have as your PFP. You can earn 100 Foxy per day if you stake it. You can stake it through our website. If you go to famousfoxes.com, there's a menu in the top right-hand corner. You just click on that and click on staking. You'll see the number of foxes you have staked, number of foxes that are staked as a total versus a percentage. Below that, it shows you the FFF number versus TFF number. And then next to that, it tells you how many foxes you have staked, how much unclaimed Foxy you have there, and what the total floor value is of the total foxes staked. And basically, you just earn Foxy per day based off the number of NFTs you have, the number of foxes you have. FFFs get 100 Foxy per day, TFFs get 25 Foxy per day, and that post up top, that hyperlink there is the name of the guy that won it. I know he wasn't here earlier. I popped out a chat real quick just to pop to the posting. But that is Sir Laxalot, is one of our foxes, been here for quite some time. And he won. This is an auction that you can use Foxy for, and it's a 1-for-1 den that only one of them exists. It's a submarine exterior, the submarine interior. And so that was one of our other auctions that we have done. We've done other auctions as well for 1-of-1 foxes that folks have also bid on. We had Chaos Fox and we had a Slime Fox so far, but that's one thing that we plan on adding in and increasing, the number of offerings, potentially with collaborating with other artists that are interested in, kind of doing a recreation or a derivative of a fox to kind of put it out there and get people, auctioning on it and give a little bit of a kickback in the Foxy side of things to the creator of it. Maybe even look at some kind of charity event side of things, maybe doing them in Solana versus Foxy, depending on what the objective is for that particular auction. But this here was utilizing our specific Foxy token.
So I love that. I'm gassed on this. I'm going to go stake my Foxy immediately. I can't believe I've missed out on 24 hours of Fox token. I'm short 100 now. I remember my friends were talking about this because they said that there was potentially an interesting ARB if you were looking at this from a tokenomics perspective and not from an NFT perspective, which I find very, very insightful on your guys' part to provide that, still some value to the TFF as opposed to just the FFFs. And I think that I don't want to go too much into it because I don't want to blow the cover, but there's a very interesting opportunity there, like a value proposition where, one being less expensive than the other, but still being able to provide token is valuable. Yep. So the other thing is, I just started working with Magic of Voxel recently, and I think I was messing around with creating a voxelized version of my friendly fox. Sorry, I'm outside playing with my dog. She's running away from me. So I was thinking I could very easily do, a customized 1-of-1, like voxelized, for a person that like won a contest or won an auction, right? Mm-hmm. So somebody wins an auction and we have an example of what it would look like, and then we can voxelize their friendly fox, and then they can like put it into Descent or put it into, Sandbox, or, have it as a full 3D model that they can walk around, or whatever ends up coming out of all of this stuff. So I don't know if that's of any interest to you guys or not.
Yeah, we'll keep the communication open. You'll see some more things coming out. I'll say within the next couple of weeks as well that might kind of be a little bit relevant to that. But yeah, let's chat more after this for sure.
Awesome. Well, I've taken up way too much of y'all's time, but I really do appreciate you letting me chat, and I love the project, man. Keep it up.
Certainly. I appreciate the hype, man. I love it, and I'm excited to see you in the community, and make sure you join the DAO as well. You can join it even if your Fox is staked. You can still verify yourself in the DAO. It's an important thing for us as well. A lot of other projects, if you list it or stake your NFT, I think at least for some projects, it might take a little while for you to get verified in your DAO side of things. But for us, you can get verified in there.
Do it right away. Yeah, as soon as I'm done outside. So
Sounds
I'll
good.
see you guys there.
All right, let's bring up Silver, and then I might try and boogie out of here because my wife is giving me eyes. So let me get Silver up here and see if we can wrap this up a little bit. How's it going there, Silver?
Connecting. You should be good now.
Good morning. I just woke up. So, first hour, quick recap. What did we talk about? That's all I ask.
This guy.
You know you love me,
For
Brink.
you,
You know you love me.
kind of record the entire thing. You'll be able to watch it. You'll be able to watch the whole thing on YouTube.
Oh, you guys recorded them
subscribe
now?
to the channel and all of that.
Yeah. We've been recording them.
recording.
It's on me to get them
We just have
posted. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's on me to get them posted. I've been slacking to say the least, but I will get these posted and I will put the resource for you guys. I think you can actually probably look up DraxTS on YouTube to find last week's posting, but I'll get it in a more traditional fashion on our Discord that people know where to go to for it.
So are you just hawking for YouTube followers now? I'm kidding.
I'll take what I can get, but more so just to kind of add the educational information out there for Foxes in a single place for people to be able to access it.
Just kidding. We'll look.
But yeah, I'll take those YouTubes. I see we have Rich Class Decor. I know we've chatted a bit. I'll bring you up here just to kind of see what you have going on, and then I'll try and wrap up the space.
And if you're going to ask for a recap like that, at least change your PFP to Fox.
I know, right?
Come on.
I didn't want to be the one to say it.
Are you guys on desktop?
I'm on my phone right now.
Oh, that's weird. You're showing up as a Fox.
Go ahead, Rich Class. What's going on? Oh, yeah, Silver's showing up as a Fox for me. Just got 100% from you. Or did you have a question, Rich, or did you just request me by accident?
Hi guys, how are you?
Doing good. How about yourself?
I'm fine, thank you. I just wanted to say that Fox Group, I actually met it from the very first day, and it's a great project. I just wish that it was very popular on Ethereum. I mean, it's on Solana that I know, but I think I see the work that you guys are doing as the developers, as the owners, as the founders. It is incredible. I have seen so many projects on Solana that the owners, they have given up, but you guys keep surprising. You guys are, you guys are taking it up to the next step every time. So, so I just wanted to say, I mean, if I had the power to somehow to share to the world, I would do it in any way possible to let people know about this project that you guys are doing so amazing. And I just hope that Gary V, I just wish that he joined our Discord or had seen the consistent work that you guys have been doing for the project is worth mentioning to everyone who is in the NFT space.
Yeah, I did apply to speak at one of his conferences. They haven't gotten back to me yet, but yeah, I mean, I'm hopeful the same as well. I know that he's big on the ETH side. I think it's a matter of time until he sees a little bit more on the Solana side, and for some people that don't know too, I mean, part of at least our core mission when we had minted was to give back, to essentially people that were less fortunate really than others. And so we had our community put out, we had 12 total foundations that we could donate to, and we took 800 Solana from our mint, which at the time was about $125,000, and we allocated those funds to those 12 different charities. One of them we ended up not being able to do because you had to dox yourself in order to donate to them, and we just would prefer to not. So we ended up just splitting that across the 11 as a total. So we ended up giving it out to the 11, and we did it in a percentage basis. If you go into our announcements and you scroll way up, you'll see the amount in total that we donated out to those. But yeah, I think it's just a matter of time until we really get on some people's radars. I know we're starting to get to that level, and that's very exciting for me. So we'll just kind of see what the future really has in store for our project, and we'll just keep building.
I think it will be great. I just have one small request, not to you, but for every Fox holder to tag Gary and let all the people in VFriends know that we have an amazing project. So it's not a project. I mean, I wouldn't say it just because I hold this NFT, but I actually feel for the project because the art is cute and the developers are great, and you guys are always doing and doing and doing. So this is what basically whenever a new person is coming to the NFT world, so this is the thing that the person should research for, and this is something that I always get from your project. So I just hope and I want to make a request to all the people who are listening and to all the holders to just tag Gary, because there is no harm in tagging Gary and letting him know that we have a great project. It's just that we are on Solana, and I can't wait for our project for Foxes to be one of the greatest.
Oh yeah,
it deserves to be. It deserves this greatness. That's what I want to say.
I appreciate that, Rich. I appreciate the kind words, and definitely that's one thing I haven't even thought about is tagging Gary Vee and things. But yeah, I'll start tagging the heck out of him, and hopefully other Foxes will follow that.
I will do that too. And I have been sending messages, sharing messages in our Discord as well regarding the merch. And if you guys are ever down to making bath mats or anything, just let me know, because I would love to do that, and I'm sure that the community will love it. And then obviously all the other projects will want to like FOMO in for having this cute merch.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, I certainly love the work that you do, and then I'm hoping that we can come to an agreement for it and start to get something out. So I'm looking forward to that.
Right. Thank you so much for letting me speak. And just a simple request to everyone who is listening: just tag Gary and let him know that we are in a very good project, and the world should know about it.
All right, that sounds good, Rich. I'm gonna drop you down, and I'll get Forever up here, and then I'll close it out.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that. Thank you.
I got him added for you.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Brink. Appreciate it. All right, Forever, you're up. Unless that might have been by mistake or for getting rugged.
Yeah, you got rugged or what?
Nope. There you are.
Big deal. What's going on, man?
Not much going with you.
This is my first time seeing the Foxies. Looking good. Just wanted to hop up here and say that the space is pretty chill. So I would like to learn a little bit more about utility and everything like that for the Foxies group, and see what it's about.
Yeah. I mean, I think like we talked a little bit about it earlier. I would say, feel free to join our Discord. We've got a lot of information in there. The best way of getting to it, is if you go to Famous Fox Fed on Twitter. You can grab the Discord straight from there, or if you go to our website, you can also get to the Discord there. And poke around, ask questions. Like I said, I'll get this space and the other one posted. That way you can go through, at least kind of listen through. Because I think there's a lot of good information over the past 90 plus minutes of us chatting. But yeah, feel free to ask questions and such in the community. I think there's a lot of material to kind of cover in there, and I've covered it a few times, so I don't want to keep people on. Just
for sure, Drax. Yeah. I gave you a follow too, just a FYI.
Appreciate it.
When you create another room or whatever, if you decide to leave this one open, and I don't think you can make someone else a host, huh? I don't think.
I think if you leave a co-host and you end it, I think you can push it off to someone else if they're interested in kind of keeping it going.
Yeah,
I've seen that happen a few times.
I mean, if you do that, that shit would help. That would be lit. But you know, you got opportunities and shit like that at the house.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. I don't know if Brink is interested in continuing this on. I know for me, I've got a few things to kind of get to.
Handle. All right, yeah, for sure. I'll tap in with you on the back end, and I'll get some more information. Appreciate you, brother.
No, that sounds good. Appreciate you too. So I'll go ahead and end it there. I think we've had some pretty good conversation. The one thing that I always like to kind of leave off for people, especially if you're new to the Solana space, is just to be safe. With everything that you do. It's cheap and quick to make a burner wallet. So if you're getting into any mints that in general, even if you kind of trust them, be sure to have a burner wallet. Only put in enough that you're willing to lose, or at least a starter amount of money into it. I'll create more resources around kind of how to do that. If you're not familiar with it, I'm sure there are folks that have also created content for that. And also, if anyone tries to send you Solana or NFTs or whatnot on DevNet, that's total bullshit. So don't fall for DevNet scams. And likewise, if there's really anything that you have a question about that seems sketchy or questionable, most likely it is, but also ask around in the Fox Discord. We've got plenty of people in there that are very knowledgeable, been in the space for a while, and very helpful. So it could be just a potential quick chat. Maybe send them over to Brink. Brink will mess with them and send them a famous facts, Fear Nation.
Famous facts for donctions, something like that.
Yeah.
Some nice
it was Fear Nation. I really appreciated that.
What I do is I just try to type Famous Fox Federation really fast, and whatever comes up is what I title it.
Nice. I like it. You should keep them consistent. Build a whole collection and mint it.
It's a plan, noted.
But yeah, I appreciate everyone in the community. I appreciate everyone, coming here and hanging out, especially for those of you that have been here for the past hour and 40 minutes. I did not think that our space could even go that long. I was for sure that Twitter would just cut me off at a certain period of time. But no, I appreciate you. Keep an eye out for our announcements to come out tomorrow. Looking forward to kind of building everything. I'll push it over to Brink too if he has any kind of final comments as well, and then we'll close this up.
Now, I guess in efforts of security, to me, what I would say is anytime anybody tries to trade you or do anything NFT crypto related in DMs is 99% of the time going to be a scam. So if someone's not willing to do it over the market or do it with Foxy Swap or like an established thing, just don't do it. It's not worth it. But Foxes are always open to answering questions if you have a second doubt about what someone may be trying to do, scam you or something.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. And also the one thing I will add, because you mentioned Foxy Swap that I didn't mention before, but in case people find this, on YouTube or whatnot, if you have a collection or if you know of a collection that you'd like to get included on Foxy Swap, just let us know about it. All we just need, I believe, is just the mint addresses, and we can get it approved into our Foxy Swap platform. And then that way, those collections can be, verified and be able to be swapped, between different NFT holders if people are interested in that. So I'll push that out as an offer for anyone that's in the space or anyone that finds this at a later period of time. Just reach out to us, join our Discord, drop me a DM, drop FoxyDAO a DM, and we'll get your collection most likely added in with the other approved collections. Having said that, hopefully everyone had a happy new year, and I will talk to you all, in Discord or next week. So stay foxy and have a good weekend.